Hey, 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 you know what day it is. What day is it? It's Tuesday Tea with D. Come on, Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. It's Tuesday Tea with D. 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 Hey, boo, hey, it's your girl, Detra Trueheart, your life purpose generator, purpose provoker, I Speak Life mentor, your personal life coach, here with another weekly dose of Tuesday Tea with D. And I have my tea here. Ah. And we are back with the elderberry fortress tea. And no, I did not order any more yet, but I will because I'm down to the last drop, honey. You already know it's good because listen, the elderberry be hitting where it's supposed to hit. And so yes, so how are you? Are you getting ready for the holiday? So at this time of the recording, it is a few days before Christmas. It's the Tuesday before Christmas, December 19th. And like Christmas literally is right around the corner. And I don't know about you, but I feel like this year literally flew by. I feel like this time last year we were talking about I Speak Life Live 2023. We were talking about 21 Days of Prayer 2023 at the time. And now we're talking about I Speak Life Live 2024 and 21 Days of Prayer 2024. And so I'll talk a little bit about that probably next week and give you an opportunity to register. But please make sure that you are on my email list. And if you're not connected with me on social media, make sure you're connected with me on social media because that's where all the details are going to go down as it relates to registering for 21 Days of Prayer, as it relates to getting your tickets available, your tickets for I Speak Life Live, which I believe either go on sale this week or next week. And so before the end of the year, there is going to be a year-end pre-sale ticket opportunity. And so if you said that you wanted to get your ticket for I Speak Life Live, let me just put this image up really quickly so that you can check it out. Save the date, put the date in your calendar. It is December 6th, 7th, and 8th, 2024. It is going to be in Niagara Falls, New York, same location that we were at this year. And so just make sure that you get your ticket when tickets go on sale because 2023 price is not going to be 2024 price. Okay. I'll send you details about 21 Days of Prayer. So just get on my email list around about that. I do still have spots available for my 90-minute strategy session. It is my Get Unstuck and Get Started strategy session. You can go to trueheartspeaks.as.me/get started. That is trueheartspeaks.as.me/get started. And so if you're in a space where you need support, where you need to pick my brain, you've got questions about a thing, maybe you want to help me walk you through a specific thing, maybe you need clarity, you need strategy, you need me to tell you how to do a thing, to walk you through it. Now, I can't tell you all the things in 90 minutes, but let me just tell you a lot can be done in 90 minutes. It is a $500 investment. You go to the link, you sign up, fill out the questions, book your appointment, make the payment, and then you're right on my schedule. And I do believe I may have some spots next week before we go into the new year. And so if you want some strategy going into this week or next week, you want to get on my calendar as soon as possible. And so I think that's all that I'm going to share for now because I really want to talk about this week's conversation around what do you desire. And so if you remember, we had conversation last week around the question, what do you want? Right. And not what do you want? What do you need? Right. Being open and willing and giving yourself permission to ask for what you need, right? But to know what you need. Because a lot of times we don't know what we need, right? In the moment, people will say, well, what do you need? And a lot of times you're like, child, I don't know. But on the other flip side of asking yourself what you need, I really want to ask you, what do you desire? Like, what do you really desire? What's your heart's desire? And when's the last time you took some time to ask yourself that? When's the last time you took the time to answer it? When's the last time you took time to go after it? Right. And so I think it is really important to be in a space where you're not only asking yourself, what do you desire? And you're not only taking the time to kind of like write it down, right? Like, okay, these are the things that I really desire. I've written them down. Maybe you have a vision book, a vision board. Maybe you have a digital vision board, right? So Pinterest or Canva. But whatever it is, you've written it down, you know what it looks like, but then you've also taken the time to go after it. And I think a lot of times if we do number two, we stop at three, but most times we stop at one, right? We know what we desire, or maybe you don't, right? Every year for the past 4 years now, I think this is the fourth year, I did two virtual and now I've done two live in person 3-day events. One of the questions that I ask, evolves around asking you what you desire, but it really is getting clear on things that you want to do, and where money is not an issue, where time is not an issue, where all the things that kind of get in the way. I just ask, like, don't think about any of those things right now, but I just want you to write them down. Like, and I tell them you may have already written it down. And so here is the book, and it's like right in the very beginning. We talk about setting your intentions on why you're here, visualizing your dreams, your aspirations, and your goals for your life. Like, what are they, right? What do you desire? And then I even have them list out some things that they want to experience in their lifetime. And it could be in the next, 30, 60, 90 days, or maybe even all the way up to a year. But for the most part, it could be in another 5 years, another 10 years. And it really challenges them to think about what they want. But also, a lot of the women, I swear every single year, there's at least one or two who will say, I have dreams that I forgot about, desires that I forgot about, that I buried, or I just kind of let kind of go by the wayside, or I suppressed them simply because I didn't think that I could go after them, or simply because life happened. And I get it. Like, I know what it's like to be in a space where there's so much happening in life that the things that you desire, the things that light you up, the things that make you smile, um like, you forget them because you get so overwhelmed and overcome by what's happening around you that you forget to tap into what's in you. And so if you were at I Speak Life Live and, I asked you this question, I would actually give you time to write it. And I would play music in the background to give you an opportunity, and really just to set the mode, to give you an opportunity just to hone in and zone in on what you desire. And so your first assignment, even though we're not together in a room, is to take some time to really think about what you desire, right? What do you desire? Like, what do you really want? What's your heart's desire? The Bible says, those that delight themselves in Him, He gives them the desires of their hearts. And I would imagine that when you delight yourself in God, like, you can't delight yourself in Him and not take on His likeness, which means that your desires then become His desires. And if His thoughts are not our thoughts, and if His ways are not our ways, then our desires, when they come in alignment with Him, they become greater than what we could desire. And I don't know about you, but anytime God has blessed me, anytime God has shown up, it has either been what I've wanted at in a greater level, or something that I didn't even know I wanted at a greater level. And I was like, man, God, like, you really blessed me with this. Like, you really surprised me. And so when you think about your desires and when you think about what you want, I'd like for you to even take the time to think about, do you even know what you desire? Remember last week I asked, do you know what you need? Do you know what you desire? Do you know what your desires are? Not just your wants, but like those deep down, like in your, like, in your shanana type thing, like in your knowing, like, you're like, ooh, like, I desire this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I desire, I don't know, right? Like, rest. And I desire, a love that, like, is indescribable, unconditional, that makes, my toes tingle, right? That, like, when you Like, I'm giving you some ideas to get descriptive about it, because sometimes we leave it at the basics of, like, I desire a new house, but like, what's in the house? What does the house look like? How big is the house? How many rooms is the house? Like, do you have accent rooms? Like, I want you to start visualizing your dreams, your desires, your goals, your aspirations. What are they? What lights you up? What sets you on fire? What do you desire? I want you to think about that. Like, I want you to ponder it. I want you to sit in it. And I want you to give yourself permission to do that. Because a lot of times, because life has happened and because we have taken on other people's goals or their purpose, or taken on what other people, desire or want, we forget about what we want. We forget about what lights us up. We forget about what excites us. We forget about what we want to do. And so I want to have these conversations with you as we're closing out this year, because I want you really to think about and be intentional about how you want to experience 2024, and possibly closing out 2023. Are there some things that you really want to experience, that you really desire, that you put off, or you put on the back burner, or you just decided like it's not even possible anymore? And I want to tell you that, when you line up, right, your desires, when you delight yourself in the Lord, He will give you the desires of your heart. There have been a couple of ladies, one in particular, who last year wrote down her list of desires, a list of things that she wanted to experience. And one of them was to take a trip to Hawaii, at some point, right? There was no time limit on it. However, God made a way for her and her husband to go to Hawaii within the year. This year there is another woman who attended iSpeaklife Live, and she was making her list, and her goal was actually, I decided to move she wanted to go on a trip, and she decided to move the trip up because she said, why am I waiting so long to experience something that I really want and desire? Like, why are we waiting? How about we just do it now? And I believe they're going to go in February of 2024. I think that's the date. I could be wrong. But whatever the date is, just know that it's not the old date. She moved it up. And so there may be some things that you desire that you can move up, right? That you're like, what am I waiting on? Like, am I waiting on the right time? Am I right? Like, money's not an issue for you. Time is not an issue for you. You just pushed it off to the side. Like, can you do it? Like, sooner than later? Can you experience it sooner than later? Are you waiting on somebody? Can you experience it alone? Or do you have some people who you don't have to wait on, who are gully like you are, and they're like, bet, like, you want to go next month? Let's go. I'm down for it. But no matter what do you desire? I want you to think about it. I want you to take some time to think about what you want to experience in the new year. And no matter when you're watching this, because at the time of this recording, it's December 2023, but it could be January 2027. It could be August of 2030. Like, whenever you're watching this video, this replay, maybe it's not what you want to experience in the new year. Maybe it's what you want to experience next month, in the new month, next week. What do you want to experience the rest of the year? Like, just what? Like, what do you desire? And not only what does it look like, but what are you doing to make it happen? Because if you're not taking action on the things that you desire, and you're waiting for them to happen themselves, you're going to be waiting for a very long time, because there are some things that don't work unless you work it. There's some things that don't move unless you get moving. There are some things that don't happen until you start making it happen. You are the missing link, right? You are the missing ingredient to making sure that the things that you desire come to pass. And so sometimes you're like, oh, well, I'm waiting on God. And God is saying, I've already given you permission to step into that thing. Like, you don't need me. It's you. You're the holdup. And so I just wonder, are you the holdup in your own desires? Are you the holdup in your own desires? Are you the holdup in the things that you like, oh, well, I'm going to wait 5 years. Why are you waiting 5 years when you could do it in a year? There may be some financial things. There may be some things with time. There may be some things maybe with your family. There may be some things maybe with your job. But if it isn't, If it isn't, then what's really the holdup? And my assumption, my guess is that you are the holdup. And so I really want to, moving forward, I want to invite you to make sure that you are more connected to me and more connected to the community, right? And so, whether you're part of my free Facebook group, whether you are a part of my email list, my text list, whether you're in my paid community, so my inner circle or my 9-month incubator, which we are currently accepting applications for. It is a mid to high 4-figure investment, and if you are interested, you can go to TrueHeart Speaks. I don't even know if I created a banner for this because I had not planned on sharing it. And so I'm going to see if I have anything here. But basically, you can go to trueheartspeaks.com/incubator, trueheartspeaks.com/incubator. I don't have anything here because, again, I had not planned on sharing it. But that is that's high level connection to me. And my private coaching is even higher, right? That's like the most intimate that you can get in working with me. And so, if that's something that you're interested in, just reach out to me and let me know. But I want you to stay connected because I don't want you to miss out on what God has for you because you're waiting on God and God is waiting on you. And sometimes you just need somebody who can start asking you specific questions and really get you thinking about how you need to show up for you, right? Because we're talking about getting out of your own way so that you can stop settling and show up for you in the same way that you show up for others, because you are really good at showing up for everybody else. You are really good at bringing your A game to all of the other things. You're not good at bringing your A game for you and showing up for you. You're not good. You're good at helping people walk out their desires. You're not good at helping yourself walk out your desires, right? It's like, oh, well, when I get around to it. Well, when is that going to be? And so I want you to be intentional about what that looks like before you get into 2024. And this is not about New Year's resolutions or anything. This is literally about you being intentional about how you want to experience your life and yourself in 2024. And what is it going to take in order for it to happen? And if you're not sure, that's why you need a 90-minute strategy session so that we can have conversation. Or you, excuse me, or you need to get in community, either at the free level or the paid level, right? And the higher up you go, the more access you have to me, but still being in community, because guess what? Sometimes if I'm not able to answer, then one of the ladies can, and they can encourage you and that sort of thing. So that's that. I think I've hammered that in as much as I can. I could go on, but I just really want you to think about, I want you to reflect. And I think we have not done a good job of reflecting on anything for that matter, but really what we desire and what we want, right? And even to some extent, like we talked about last week, what we need, right? We don't know what we need because we've never taken the time to sit and say, what exactly do I need? Right. And so if you are married and your spouse says, what do you need from me? Like, have you taken the time to explore what that looks like? Right? If your spouse says, like, well, what do you desire? Like, how do you envision, like, ultimately, like, our relationship, our marriage, our friendship? Have you taken the time to explore the desires of your relationship, the desires of even the relationship that you have with yourself, the desire, like, I desire, what are your desires for your children? Like, what are your desires? Like, what does that, and granted, we're talking about you, but if someone asks, do you know? And I don't think that for one, we've not been conditioned to do that. Like, we can do strategic planning, we can do time management, we can plan our calendars for work and all of the projects and all of the board meetings. But when it comes down time for us, we don't know what that looks like. And so that's where I come in, right? I know you're good at what you do. There's no question about it. But I know that you are not always as good as you can be you're not good at being, right? You're good at what you do, you're not good at how you be. And so that is my job, is really to make sure that as God's daughter, and even if there's some men out there who are watching, because I know y'all be watching, you are not good at making time for you. You don't know what that looks like. You've not been conditioned to even consider that, right? You can plan your life, from a goals, standpoint, job, career, all that kind of stuff, family, that sort of thing, legacy, but like you as a person, right? What does that look like? What does it feel like? And what are you doing in order to live it out on a daily basis? So, with that said, I'm going to put this up here so that you can have another reminder. Make sure you are scheduling your 90-minute strategy session. It is trueheartspeaks.as.me/get started. Make sure that you save the date for I Speak Life Live. It is December 6th, 7th, and 8th of 2024. Be on the lookout because pre-sale tickets are going to be going on sale within the next week or so. It's usually normally the last week of 2023. And so just pay attention. You'll get access to pre-sale tickets for VIP as well as for general tickets. I believe that there are 9 or 10 tickets left for VIP. And so if you want VIP, there are only 18 spots available. And as I've stated, there are either 9 or 10 spots left. So if you want to get in, then you need to get in before they sell out because they're going to sell out. And so, yeah, so that's that. So I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. I did because it made me think of some things and I really want to go back and revisit my desires and I'm going to go into prayer. And so here's the thing that I did. I may have mentioned it, but I don't think I did is when you get quiet, I really want you to ask God to reveal to you your desire. What do you desire? And what's his desire for your life? Because sometimes because you have stunted your own growth and because you have not considered what you really desire, right? You playing around with that thing. You haven't really talked about what you really, really, really desire. Because you haven't considered it, God will begin to show you in your quiet time. He'll begin to reveal some things. You'll begin to start dreaming about stuff. And you'll be thinking like, that's like, I couldn't even fathom that. And you're right, you couldn't. But when you co-create and when you join in and collaborate with God in brainstorming and thinking and meditating on your desires and even delighting yourself in Him so that He can give you the desires of your heart, they begin to come to fruition and they really begin to manifest. So take some time to spend time with him and ask him to not only show you what your desires are, because there may be some that you have just buried, but what's his desire for your life? And I promise you, it's probably bigger than what you could ever imagine. And it might even be something you never even thought about. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he's just good like that. You know what I'm saying? Like to the point of where you'll be like, I couldn't have even considered that. And here, okay, and then I'm gonna go. So I shared this at I Speak Life Live 2023. And one of the things that I talked about, and I might have to teach this on a totally different time frame, right? Maybe a master class. I don't know that I can do it during a Tuesday Tea with D. But here's the thing that sometimes God can give you a dream, and the dream that He can give you is not the dream when it shows up, but it's a manifestation of the dream simply because He can't show you what it is in that moment. You're only able to recognize it in that time. And let me tell you. So the theme was called It Had to Happen, and we came from the story of Joseph. And we know the story of where Joseph had two dreams, of his brothers bowing down and his parents bowing down. And his brothers were like, yeah, right, that's not going to happen. And so there's a point in scripture, and I can't remember what chapter it is. I think it's either 42 or 45, where it says that when they bowed down, Joseph recognized his brothers. And not only, no, so when he recognized his brothers, he remembered the dream. Go read it. You'll find it. And so sometimes what'll happen is the dream won't look like the dream when it shows up, because the dream when God gives it to you isn't the exact dream. It is what they call types and shadows. It is a type of the dream, right? A shadow of the dream. It's not the actual dream. What he saw in the dream was not the manifestation of what actually happened, but it happened. And so be careful that you don't miss the dream because it doesn't look like what you dreamed. You'll catch that when you wake up tomorrow. Be careful because, right, you'll have certain desires, or God will reveal something to you. It's a totally different conversation now, but I'm going to close out on this. Be careful that when God shows you something, you don't miss it because it doesn't look like what he shows you, and you think it's supposed to look like that, but that's not how it's going to show up. So that is your tea plus a little honey and lemon for today. I hope that today's tea was really, really good for you as much as it was for me. Child went back and just had a whole bunch of I got to go back and read it because there were so many different revelations that I got from Joseph, even when I taught 2 weeks ago for iSpeaklife Live. And so I hope that you got what you needed today, but I really want you to do the assignments. I really want you to take the time out for yourself and spend some time with God around your desires. Get clear on what they are, start writing them down, and and get bold about it, get courageous about it, things that maybe you never even thought about, like just write them down, you know what I'm saying? And then take them to God and say, Lord, like, is this in alignment with what you would have for me to do? And if he says no, then take it off the list, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Make sure you're watching the Tuesday Tea with D's. Make sure you are liking the videos, commenting on the videos, and make sure you're sharing them with at least 5 people. Let people know what they are getting and what you are getting from the weekly Tuesday Tea with D's, because, honey, I believe that they're going to get gooder and gooder and people are going to miss out. Right. So I love you. Have an amazing, amazing, amazing week. Merry Christmas. I will see you. I probably will have a video out next week, the day after Christmas. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But Merry Christmas, Happy New Year if I don't see you next week. And spend some time with God, spend some time with yourself, and enjoy these last couple of weeks of 2023, right? It's already going fast. Don't rush, right, to get into 2024, but also take some time to reflect on this year, all of the things that you've experienced, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, fabulous, and then give thanks, right? 30 days of thanks. Give thanks for all of it, right? You made it. We made it. We got 2 weeks to go, and God willing, we will walk into 2024 together, and be ready for all of the fabulousness that God has prepared for us, all of the desires, right? That he has, the desires of our hearts that he has for us because we have delighted ourselves in him. So I love you. Also, don't forget, be on the lookout for your ticket. Be on the lookout for 21 days of prayer. Book your strategy session. And if there's anything else that I missed, you can catch it on the next Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D. Tuesday Tea with D.